Yay.
But I digress because this is not about me. This is about Jeff. So let's fire this puppy up.
No,
I'm ready.
Just Jack. It's the Just Jeff show.
Jody's back. Jeff's back. Hello and welcome to Disney with the Ducks. I'm your host for today, Lonnie G. And this is episode 186, the one where we go back in time travel. Ooh, don't they usually do the woo thing when they go back in time?
Jack was here from Rise and Run. She'd say that we got into our Mandalorian.
Shout out to the Rise and Run, the Mandalorian.
She gets that confused there from Back to the Future. She calls it the Mandalorian, which I think is hilarious.
We'll take it. Well, guys, you hear her? You love her. It is Jody B. Jody B, how are you today?
I am doing just fine. How are you this morning, Lonnie G?
I am doing well. This is, I think, our first day recording, which is something new. It's bright behind me. It's bright behind you. And it's right behind our special guest. Guys, first time on the show. The prodigal son returns. Jeff, man, good to see you, man. It's been a long time. How you doing, sir?
It's good. I'm glad you guys invited me to come on the show. I've been sitting waiting for that link every week, and I don't know why nobody ever sent it to me. Just like you have a separate group thread without Jeff that you do all your scheduling with. And so I'm glad I finally got to be a part of this again.
Yeah, let's not make it awkward. Yeah. So, but man, look, we missed you, man. I'm glad to have you back. So yeah, this is episode 186, the Wayback Machine. Jeff's joined us to kind of talk about his spring 2025, Easter 2025 trip to Disney, which is a different perspective. But before we get started, if you like what you hear, and please give us 5 stars. We would love them. It helps with the algorithm, helps other people find us. Also, if you have any feedback that you'd like to see, if you'd like to see us record a special episode, something that you want to hear about, please, drop it in the Facebook group we have, very active, is at Disney with the Ducks. We're on Instagram at Disney with the Ducks. Very positive, very motivating. Feel free to come along and join and see what Jody posts next. So with that, like we said, this is the Wayback Machine. So we're going to talk about spring. I'm very interested in this one because this was an off-site visit that Jeff had. Many times we talk about Disney and being in the bubble, but the bubble actually does extend, right? It goes out toward the Disney Springs area when there's some really great neighborhood hotels that have just as good as, well, not as good as benefits, I guess, just as good. Is that what I say? Equal? Well, some of the benefits are the same depending on where you are. So it is what it is. But so Jeff, let's kick it off. When did you go to Disney?
We went in April of 25. We arrived on the 16th. I kind of had a little bit of a broken trip there because I had to come back for work, so I couldn't stay the whole time. But the whole family and everybody was down there from the 16th to the 27th of April.
Man, you know what? It's a shame when work comes between a Disney trip. It really is.
It was working school. So basically it was me, my girlfriend Kim, and her 3 kids. They are 16, 14, and 12. And the 16-year-old had to come back for school as well. So we all flew down on Wednesday. Him and I flew back on Sunday evening. So he could have school Monday through Thursday. And then Friday night, we flew back down for the weekend and came home Sunday.
Oh, wow. Now, look, I didn't even know that. So that's interesting. You went, came back, and went back.
Correct.
All right, good deal. So now where did you stay during this trip?
Excuse me. For most of the trip, we stayed. It's still in the bubble, but it's not a Disney-owned hotel. It is Bonnet Creek. It is a Wyndham property. And for the last part of the trip, we were at the Polynesian inside the studios.
Nice. Okay. So you went down, you stayed at the Wyndham. Is that the one that's walking distance to Disney Springs?
No, the Wyndham is actually right behind like the Riviera. It's kind of like it's in the backyard of the Riviera and Caribbean Beach Resort. So,
is it real? Does it have real tall buildings? Is that what you see?
There's a couple of tall towers. I think there's 2 towers that are taller. Most of the buildings are smaller, but they have a couple of the taller towers are there as well.
Got it. I often wondered what that was. So, I'm trying to think where the Riv is and how you get there from.
If you go past the Riviera, there's a road off to the right, and you just turn into there, and you go straight back, like towards where the JW Marriott and everything is.
Oh, okay.
It's back that road. There's a road that peels off right before you head all the way back into that port.
Good deal. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
What made you choose this? Because I know you have DVC and there's points and there's all sorts of options. Why did you choose Bonnet Creek?
Well, a lot of times we're point broke, so that is a thing.
I feel you.
Kim actually chose to go down there and has been going around Easter time for several years. They went down one year. They were trying to squeeze in 2 trips and figure out how to do it on a budget and get the second trip when they were down there for Disney. It's been a while when the kids were little. And they found that you could stay at the Wyndham, which is still on property, but inside the bubble. And it was very cheap comparatively to everything else. So they went ahead and booked it, and then they just fell in love with the resort. And so that tends to be where they go for their Easter trip every year. And after going there last Easter, I can see why. It is a fantastic resort.
Really? Okay. So what are some of the amenities that make it a fantastic resort? I mean, does it get some of the Disney things, such as, if the park opens early, you can go in early, you can stay late? I mean, what's some of the things that you get at the Wyndham?
It does not have that. We had our VN, so I think they do transportation, but it's not as consistent or as open, but they do have it available. We had a van, so it's easy for us to navigate around property and get places where we need to go. I think there are 7 buildings that they have there. There's pools at almost every one of them. There's lazy rivers at several of them. They have activities at the pools. There's about 3 or 4 different restaurants. They have putt-putt, they have shuffleboard, they have ping pong. It's a very relaxing place to stay, that you're close to Disney property when you want to go in. But if you just want to lay at the resort and not go into the parks at all, this is just one of those places where you can get to the other things easy and still enjoy just the relaxation of it. So we did very little park time.
I'm a big fan of lazy rivers. After Alani, I'm like, oh yeah, I really like these things. They're
it was great.
So you never took the transportation offered by the resort to Disney?
No.
Okay. I'm just curious how that worked. Like, where do they drop off? Where do they pick up? Because you don't see the signs for those at the bus depots. So.
Well, Magic Kingdom, I think, would have to go to the TTC because they've pretty much stopped everything from going there.
Right. But I wonder everywhere else, like, I'm just curious. Like, have you guys ever seen where the off-property buses go?
I have not, and I've always wondered if they do, like for Run Disney races. I mean, would they do transportation for that as well? I know it's easier, right? You get a car, you park over there, and you can just drive to the race. So I think the car is the thing that can really separate those resorts and kind of get it right where it's. If you can park close to that resort, you can take off quickly. You probably get there faster than Disney transportation, since it's right there by the Riviera.
Right. Yeah, it's super close. And they've stayed there enough that they know the roads and stuff well enough that we can kind of zigzag through a little easier. But.
And then as your parking, are you considered off property? So do you have to pay for parking?
We have annual passes.
Oh.
So it wasn't an issue for that either.
Okay. I'm curious about that too. Because parking is what now? $35 a day?
$35 a day, I think it is. Yeah.
Okay. Well, interesting things to look for next time around. We'll have to do a follow-up question, see if anybody finds the answers to these. We'll put them in the post when the show drops.
Yeah. So are there like 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, and regular like hotel rooms, or how's it set up, Joe?
They have all of the above. In the buildings, they have the 1 bedrooms, they have 2 bedrooms, they have 3 bedrooms, they have regular hotel rooms. When we booked ours, so they have kind of like what they call blackout periods, where it's like the Disney Vacation Club. They give you so many points that you can use a year, and you can use them at any of their properties. At the main peak times, you're only supposed to be owner used points. They're not supposed to rent them out. They're not supposed to do anything. We were actually able to find our week stay there online, and actually bought it through eBay. And somebody had listed that they booked. It was a 3-bedroom presidential suite in the one tower. It had 3 full bedrooms, a huge kitchen, dining room, living area, a big balcony off the back. For Easter week for 7 days, I think it was $1,800.
Okay, first off, back up. You bought it off of eBay.
Correct.
So, and it's the presidential suite with all of that.
Yes.
Right? Man, I'm gonna tell you, and $1,800. I would say if it was a DVC property, or of course it'll have to be a DVC property if it's a 3-bedroom, right? But even if you have to pay for it, I mean, gosh, you're looking 3 times that, almost 4 times that. I mean, for a 3-bedroom, that's crazy. I would walk around with one of those. Did you buy one of those presidential hats? You know, those ones that have and then have a presidential jacket. Like, I would be like a dictator walking around that complex.
I felt like
you should have.
So I would have been nervous, Nelly, buying something off like that from eBay.
She has done it before, so she was more confident with it. But you'll see rooms and stuff posted there quite a bit. So,
wow. I think I would be like that's not an insignificant amount of money. I mean, it's not like $1 million or anything, but it's still
right.
Anything with a comma in it, I think is significant. And I think I'd be so scared to trust the whole process. But
it worked out really well. The only thing they told us, because again, they're not supposed to necessarily be giving away these during peak times. We were just friends of so-and-so, and it worked out fine. We didn't have any problems. But apparently they're starting to crack down on that a little bit. So,
well, I mean, I would say so. I mean, 3-bedroom kitchen, all that stuff for $1,800
for a week.
Cool.
For a week.
Wow, and it's crazy.
A beautiful room. It's probably one of the fanciest, like 3-bedroom kind of vacation club timeshare condo places I've been in.
Wow.
Okay, good deal. All right, so you got down there. First day, checked in. You didn't have a problem. I mean, I'm sure you had your fingers crossed saying, let's make sure that this works out. But it did work out. Went in. Tell us about your first day, man. What did you do?
I don't have notes on the day-by-day structure because it's been a while here. So
that's why we didn't have you on the show. You weren't prepared previously.
I'm not prepared. And you guys know I don't do trip reports. So like the whole process, this is going to be a little kind of haphazard and winging it.
Come on, Jeff.
Right.
Well, with the best of your memory, sir, would tell us about. Okay, give us this overall summary of your first day, not point to point, but tell us some of the things you did. I mean, you getting down there. What did you go do?
We did very little park time the entire week that we were there. Most of the time was just spent relaxing, laying at the resort. We hit the pools. We did a little bit of resort hopping around. But it's just mostly relaxing. We ordered groceries in. We Instacarted in. We have a big kitchen. There's 6 or 5 of us that are down there. Meals going out to Disney gets very expensive very quickly whenever you're trying to feed that many people with 2 teenage boys. So we order in Instacart and had groceries delivered. We did a lot of cooking in-house, which it was easy. Had snacks and stuff for whenever we went to the pools. We'd pack a little bag, pack a cooler. Just made it real easy to breakfast, dinners, everything right there in the room. They have grills outside, so you can grill up stuff, burgers, dogs, whatever you want to. So we did have the Instacarts and everything come through. But again, most of the first few days was just relaxing at the pool. The one thing we did do, Kim and I, it's not required, but they do timeshare presentations there. These are not the Disney DVC timeshare presentations.
Oh, so did they hardcore pressure?
This will be a 45-minute talk that you're there 2.5 hours with the full court press, hard sell. You got to do this today. We're not letting you leave kind of deal. And it is be ready for that if you want to do it. We ended up actually doing one of their test packages, which we kind of knew what we wanted anyway going into it. And this was like the last and final thing they offered that we knew they would do. It took them a long time to get there. The process was less than smooth, but again, because she likes to stay there every Easter, she wants to be able to book it on her own. And this gave us an option to try it out for, I think, 6 years, for so many points for the 6 years without having to worry about any maintenance fees, any dues. And if we like it to 6 years, then we can apply what we paid into buying in permanently, or we can just walk away with no commitment or anything. So,
yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool. You know, the one thing about it, my wife and I have gone to these timeshare presentations we went in Vegas, right? And the same thing in Vegas. I mean, they were spinning a wheel, they were hardcore pressing. It's funny, the girl who was doing ours looked like she rolled in. She said she had a rough night. She said she was partying with some musicians. I mean, seriously, she had sunglasses on. So she wasn't, you know, you could just tell. She might have came straight from a party. I don't know, but you could just tell she just wasn't, you know, but her manager was coming over to the table giving a hardcore press, and she was like, you know, she took some Tylenol when she sat at the table. But it's a lot different than going to a Disney presentation where it's not, you know, they don't hardcore press or anything like that. I think one of the things that, and to your point, and why we always say if you're going to, you know, you're going with a family and things of that nature, and you have an opportunity to, you know, just Instacart, get some stuff over there so you can cook, because it's easier to, I mean, I remember we did a 2-bedroom at Animal Kingdom. We ordered some cereal, Pop-Tarts, ordered some eggs and stuff, and it comes right there. You cook when you want. You know, you can kind of manage your trip a little bit more, because, you know, you can always say, oh, I'm gonna have one nice meal in the park, and then the other things I can kind of eat back in the room. So that's a, you know, great savings, you know, way to save that you shared, Jeff. So good deal.
Yeah, that was a new one for me, this setting up that way, because we're used to be a small group of 3 that went down, and it wasn't horribly expensive because Riley never ate a whole lot. So we typically just split meals, so it wasn't horribly expensive. But again, when you have 5 and teenage boys who eat quite a bit, it changes the dynamic.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's kind of a new thing for me as far as doing it this way, and it worked out really well.
All right, good deal. Now you mentioned you didn't do a lot of park time. During Easter, it could get packed, you know, pretty packed. So I think a nice relaxing vacation is not running into the park. But tell me about the times you went into the park. What parks did you run into?
We were in Magic Kingdom for Easter. The Easter parade is a tradition for their family. So we made sure we went into the Magic Kingdom on Easter morning. So we were there. We watched the parade. I don't think we rode any rides. I went to Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor just as something to do. But mostly it was just there for the parade. We went in around noon. We popped a seat for the parade. We watched the parade. We left. So there wasn't a whole lot there. Actually, no, sorry. We had lunch at Liberty Tree Tavern that day. So we did eat there. That was one of those. We watched fireworks from the Poly on the beach. So we avoided the crowds of that, so we could watch the fireworks there, which was nice. Just relaxing, sitting with a drink in hand and sitting on the beach in the sun, in the shade there. So we did that. We rode Guardians. That's a favorite of the kids, so we made sure we did that. So I know every trip that we go down, I try to do something I've never done before.
Okay.
So the Easter parade was something new for me. I've never been there for Easter before. Singing of Otter Creek was new, but I also did new things for them too. They had never eaten at Jico, so we went to Jico for the one night as an experience, and that was one of my favorite steaks, and the kids really liked that. So
nice.
It was a really good experience at Jico.
So it's good, you know, you kind of did it a little different. I always say that, you know, there are kind of 3 to me, and it evolves, right? 3 different Disney trips. Number 1 is the Run Disney trip. I hate the running part of it, but, you know, of course, you're depending on the weekend, you know, you're going into the parks, you're doing this, you're doing that. Marathon weekend is always different because it's kind of like the family reunion. So you're doing a lot of things on that trip. And then, you know, there's kind of like the springtime surprise one where maybe you won't go into the parks as much, or you kind of, it's more low key. There's the couple trip when you do kind of like this trip is kind of, to me, reminds me kind of a couple trip where you kind of don't really do a lot of park things. You hop in for a little bit, you hop out. So you're doing more relaxing. And then, of course, is the family trip that depends on the kids and their ages. I mean, you might be running and gunning all day. You know, you always see those parents that's yelling, you know, when the kids are crying because they're tired. It's like, you know, enjoy this. You know how much this is, you know, so it's kind of like one of those things. But, you know, it's funny when I always come back from Disney and, you know, when I talk to somebody and number one, they can't wrap their minds around the fact that I like to go to Disney to relax. And they said, a relaxing trip. I mean, I'm always tired when I come back from Disney. And I'm like, well, you're doing it wrong. Because usually, like, and I think yours is the perfect example, Jeff, of just kind of relaxing. And I guess you spend a lot of time around the pool, the lazy river, and, you know, you still can go, you know, over to the Poly on the beach and watch the fireworks, maybe grab a, you know, if John was here, a Lapu Lapu, and, you know,
we had Lapu Lapus.
Enjoy it, you know.
We had multiple Lapu Lapus, actually.
Oh, see, you know, well, this trip is John approved. Right on that one, you know, you get the John check back.
Right. And our trips have changed over the years as well. When you start to own DVC and you have an annual pass, you realize that I'm coming back. So you're less so intensely focused. I've got to do all this because you don't think you're ever getting back there. So now that we know that we're coming back, because we have these commitments, you can kind of, I was still always a rope drop. I mean, you guys know I go commando there. So this is different. We never rope dropped any park, which is different for me. The kids were asleep till 9:30, 10 o'clock. And then we would relax and go hike a pool. We'd dip into the park for a little bit, and usually in the evenings. But we never waited in long lines for rides because we knew we'd be back, and sometimes it'd be shorter. So
it's funny you mention that. My wife does that too, right? She'll sleep, and then if we were going on just a trip with us too, just to relax, you know, we'll try to get a room, you know, at the boardwalk or something like that, which usually we do. I think the last time we were there. And to your point, man, you just kind of take it differently. And DVC does that, right? It just kind of makes it where, and it's a testament that, you know, the boys, you know, slept at 10:30 because they're not thinking they're missing anything either. They're like, oh, we'll come back. You know, we've been here, we have days. So good deal. And this was doing Flower and Garden as well, correct?
It was. We did stuff with Flower and Garden on the back end of the second weekend whenever we came back.
Sweet.
So we left me and, again, Zach, the oldest, left on Sunday. Mm-hmm. And then they stayed at Bonnet Creek until Wednesday, checked out Wednesday, loaded up the van, packed everything up, and moved over to the Polynesian for the rest of the trip. And then Zach and I flew back down again Friday, like I said, and we continued out the rest of the weekend at the Polynesian. So
okay. So you mentioned the Poly. Who did you stay in at the Poly?
We stayed in the old DVC buildings at the Poly, not the tower.
Okay. I mean, I like the old buildings anyway, especially I like, you know, depending which one you are. There's one that's Mariah, one of them. I'm probably mispronouncing it. I don't know, but it's right by the TTC. I mean, you come out, you take a left, you stroll right, and then you're at the TDC, so you can kind of get everywhere from there. So I'm a fan of the Poly. But let me ask you this. With the tower, how does that change the actual monorail? Because I haven't stayed at the Poly since they added the tower. Did you catch the monorail? Did you find that it was busier?
It was definitely busier. We did not ride it often, but it was definitely busier. We noticed it was busy. We were able to get on it fine at the Poly, being at the Poly. When we stayed at the Grand Floridian, we found it was a lot harder to get on the monorail because by the time it got there, it was packed. Because there's so many people getting on at the Poly that the monorail stop at the Grand Floridian was always busy. So
Disney needs to figure that out. I mean, they really do. I don't know if you add more cars in regards to, like, you know, do something, but you're adding a couple of thousand more people to that route with that new tower, right? And yes, the tower is beautiful and things of that nature, but you got to really think about it, especially like after fireworks, trying to catch it back.
Yep.
You know, that has to be kind of like a beast.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, we ended up taking the boat more often than not just because the lines for the monorail were long and we knew that it would be busy. Or if we stay at the Grand Floridian, we'll just walk back. That's not a bad walk.
Yeah. I mean, that's not a bad walk. You're right. I mean, in fact, you know, it's kind of like the route that the marathon takes. It kind of, I think the half took that too last year. We kind of ran by the same route to kind of get to the thing, which is pretty cool.
The one the outside that goes right into it's the path right along the lake.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't realize I didn't realize you ran that in the marathon.
Yeah. Now, of course, it's smaller, so right. So you do have a little pinch point there, but yeah, we ran it. That we had the electrical parade sitting out there. You kind of ran by,
of course. You
know, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Did not realize that.
Yeah, man. So if you want to do the marathon or the half,
my running days, I think, are over, Lonnie.
Yeah, you bet, man. Look, you're winning doing that. You're winning. Just don't do it, man. I hate running, so you don't want to do that.
Right. It's not worth it.
Do what you're doing. So you came back for Easter. the second part of it. How was Flower and Garden, man? Because I've never, like I said, I've never been during that time. Was the parks packed?
It really wasn't overly packed. It was nice that back into the weekend because I think spring breaks are starting to end. That typically end around Easter, and kids are going back to school. Most of them have spring breaks. It seems to be heading into Easter and then back to school after. So that back end really wasn't bad. Saturday was her middle son's birthday, so we went to Epcot that day. We did the flower and garden stuff. We walked around, looked at the topiaries. It had been real hot, so some of the flowers were starting to have some issues. It seemed a little bit. And I think it was towards the end of the flower garden as well. And we had dinner that day at the Italian. Oh shoot, mine just completely blanked.
In Epcot?
Yeah, Tutto Italia.
You mean the pizza place?
Not the pizza place. The restaurant, Tutto Italia.
Ah, okay. Yeah,
and
I've never been there. Of course, I've been to the pizza place, but
yeah, it was actually a fantastic meal. We really enjoyed that one a lot. We got just a couple of different sampler plates and just kind of shared. And I think for the 5 of us, for getting what we wanted and everything, it's like $140.
Dude, that's actually really good. You wouldn't think that for a Disney property.
Right.
That's actually really good.
That's what we thought.
I mean, you walk by a Disney restaurant, it's $100.
Right. Yep. Your magic band just goes off and
I might start spinning around. You're like, I wonder what I ate. I'll find out when I checked out.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's pretty good, man.
And the other one we ate at Narcoossee's whenever we were down there.
So you got some good places. Chico, Narcoossee's. Yeah, you guys did some pretty good restaurants. At the same time, still were able to, eat back at the place as well.
Correct.
Okay. So would you recommend overall going during this time?
I'm sorry?
Would you recommend overall going during Easter break?
Yeah, we had a great time with it. Yeah, again, it depends on what you're doing. If you're trying to make it park centric and very park focused, it might be a little busier and might be waiting in lines and it's hot. But for what we did as far as just relaxing at the pool most of the time and taking it easy and not worrying about that and just catching fireworks and doing what we wanted to do, it worked out fantastic for us. Okay.
Did you do anything outside of the parks? So you had a car, so you could drive into Orlando. Did you do anything else?
We went to the airport and back.
Okay, well, I mean,
it's very much. If I'm in the bubble, I'm in the bubble. Yep.
Oh, okay.
So we're here.
I asked because you kind of see all the different things, and I've been looking at more things that you can do outside of the parks, and still kind of take it in. And I found that there's some pretty cool restaurants that are outside of the park and things of that nature. That even though it's not Disney, they're pretty good, right? So Orlando has a really good food scene. So, but it's good that you had a car, like you said, you were able to stay in the bubble. You were able to, traverse the parks and things of that nature on the car, which you didn't have to worry about their shuttle. So it gives you a level of independence.
And we went to play miniature golf, and miniature golf's not easy to get to if you don't have a vehicle. It's not convenient to get to Blizzard Beach or not Blizzard Beach, but Fantasia Gardens and Winter Summerland. Those aren't easy to get to without a vehicle. We did do one afternoon just for a few hours at the Blizzard Beach and just kind of relaxed at the water park for a little bit, rode some rides, hung in the sun. So that stuff's a lot easier if you have a vehicle to get to.
Man, you did a lot. You did Blizzard Beach, so you did a lot of water time. You was always in the lazy river at the place. All right, well, it seems that you found your sweet spot, man.
Right.
Relaxing and hopping in the pool. Nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So you would recommend the Wyndham. You would recommend this time.
Absolutely. The Bonnet Creek is it's a great resort. Again, it's more for relaxing than if you want to be park centric, just because it takes a little bit to get to comparatively, but you're right there close. You're inside the bubble, and you're at the back door of, like I said, the Riviera and Caribbean Beach Resorts, and so it's all very close to everything. So
yeah, and then with you guys' annual pass, you have to pay for parking, so that's actually like a win-win.
Yep.
So you did Magic Kingdom, you did Epcot a couple of days. Did you do any other parks?
We did not go into Animal Kingdom at all. On that.
Tumble Monkeys are still mad at you for that one.
Yeah, we didn't do Animal Kingdom at all that trip. And I think we went into Hollywood Studios just briefly, but not for very long.
So, well, Gene would want me to ask you, was Rise of the Resistance working or was it down?
We wouldn't have waited for that one. We did Toy Story Mania just because I wanted somebody who could try to unlock the special things in Toy Story Mania with me. So,
and did you unlock it?
We unlocked, I think, all but one of them. I think we missed one of them. So
yeah, man, this sounds like an awesome trip, man.
It was a great time. You should come with us.
I wasn't invited. Kind of like the invite for this show that you said you didn't get. I didn't get the invite to come back for that. So, I'm not mad. I'm not bitter. I'm just disappointed.
Right. Nah, get used to it. A lot of people get disappointed in me, Lonnie.
Oh, well, it's not more of you. It's more of just me not going to the park. You can never disappoint me, man. I can't quit you, Jeff. I can't. So, well, good deal, man. I'm glad overall you had a great trip. And more importantly, I'm glad that you're back. Because number one, you don't do trip reports. We all know this. A couple of things Jeff doesn't do. Trip reports is one. But the fact that you came and did one for us, that means a lot. And hopefully, you have a standing invite.
All right. I'll make sure I watch my text threads.
Yeah. Watch them hard. And if you don't get one, it's Jody's fault, not mine.
Right.
And you probably will notice that I've decided not to do shows with Gene. So if Gene's on the show, I won't be. So you just have to pick who you prefer to be with.
Is it just easier if we don't have Gene on the show?
I've been saying that for 2 years, but no one seems to, listen to me when I say that.
I think Gene says that too, because he's not real sure why he's here most of the time either.
Well, you know what? That's one thing. You can't say that he doesn't have self-awareness. He does. He knows he's not supposed to be here either.
Right.
He is good because he's the only one that has a great relationship with the lawyers, so we give him that. But other than that,
right?
I guess our lawyers would say something like, we recommend to win them, but we're not responsible with the whole eBay thing. Now if eBay starts to sponsor our show, we will recommend them, but until that time, now don't get me wrong, you can buy some things off of eBay. I don't know about like Jody says, it's just depending on how much you have to spend. But Disney paraphernalia, we don't want anybody buying any Run Disney stuff off of, eBay because when
at least not the race weekend. Not race weekend. If you wait for like 2 years because your mug broke and you're trying to find a replacement mug, that's different. But
that's completely different. But not like day of. Don't buy a day of or the month after. None of that. Don't do that. 2 years later, your shirt tore, you want another one, your mug broke, that's fine. We recommend that. Mm-hmm. A good deal. So, Jeff, you may not know, because it's been a while. However, there's a favorite part of the show, which is called Quacking Up with the Ducks.
I do remember, and I remember most of the time it's really not that funny.
This is also true. But still, it's kind of like what we do. So, with that being said, Jeff, can you quack us up?
I can certainly try. I don't know if we'll succeed, but I can certainly try.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the other day that in the circus, there was one of the lions got loose and it ate the tightrope walker? Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, it said it won a well-balanced diet.
That is actually pretty cool. So yeah, I do like that one. So let me ask you this. What do you call a sleeping bull?
That would be a bulldozer.
You are right, sir. Once again, there you go, man. Look at you. I wonder if we got this.
We did. If you just scroll up just a little bit from where you were, you're number 3.
Yours is the first one. Dude, we crack ourselves up. See, that's the best part of it.
Exactly. That's all that matters.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this. Why don't big cats play poker in the safari?
I don't know why big cats don't play poker in the safari.
Too many cheetahs.
That would make sense.
Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this show. Jeff, man, it was good talking to you. Please don't be a stranger. I'm serious. We want you back. Absolutely. Come back. I know you're busy, but,
Hopefully life starts to settle down. We can kind of get into a routine a little bit more for this kind of stuff now.
Yeah, man, get into a routine, man. Routines are good. That last joke about the cheetahs, we're going to just say Jody did that.
Right. Yeah, we had to fill in for her.
That's a Jody joke.
Yeah. That's the bad thing about doing these Friday morning recordings. Work and life happens, so Jody had to take a call and bail on us a little bit. So.
Oh, yeah, but, it is what it is. I mean, John and Jeff, and there used to be this guy on this show. I don't remember his name. It's been so long. Who's this guy's name? He used to be on the show. Kevin, I think his name was. I don't remember. I mean, life happens.
Correct.
Well, with that being said, Jeff, man, it's been great, man.
It's been fun, Lonnie. Thanks for having me on again.
You got it, man. So, guys, if you like what you hear, please feel free, like I said, to join us on our socials on Facebook, at Disney with the Ducks on Instagram. Any feedback, please feel free to drop it in there as well. If you agree with Jeff and want to ban Gene, we would love to hear that as well. So there you go. With that, I think what we used to say is Kwaharini, right, Jeff? That is,
especially when John was here, we tried to beat him to it. So I'll say it without him. So Kwaharini, everybody.
Yeah, man. Have a good one. Man, I can't quit you, Jeff.